High School Musical, a movie series, a cultural phenomenon in the late 2000s and early 2010s. So much so that it now has remakes of remakes of remakes. Call it whatever you want to call it, but the characters developed in this fictional Albuquerque universe hold a dear place in the hearts of many young Disney Channel viewers. Myself, of course, being one of them. The little details, the over-the-top fashion choices, the underlying sexual tension made canon in the movie's sequel. Among the many low-budget Disney Channel original movies that came out during this period of children's entertainment, this pile of hot garbage continues to reign as their one biggest achievement. And if you're like me and you're already a fan of other creators in the commentary community on YouTube who have already made a video on this movie, you would know that there is a detailed checklist of videos that must be made in order for your YouTube commentary channel to be legit. If I want to claim my spot in this community, I might as well start off on the right foot and tick off as many DCOMs as I can, right? Nothing like trying to hold on to the remaining bits of nostalgia from your childhood, cause dear God, what has the modern world left us? Anyways, we're gonna watch the first movie together, and I'll talk about how my opinions may have changed about it since I last saw it start to finish in my childhood. Let's see what High School Musical has to offer us 15 years after its original release. So the beginning of the movie starts on New Year's Eve during the school year's winter break. Huh, that's a little odd. And the first thing we learn about our two main characters, Gabriella and Troy, is that he do sport and she do knowledge.
Downtown.
He's caught up playing basketball with his dad when his mom wants him to attend some type of party happening at their vacation spot. They both go to the party, and rewatching this as a 19-year-old very detached from his childhood, it's crazy how many small details I completely forgot about from this movie. Case number one, the fucking MC dude at the New Year's party, whose voice and presence in this film was completely wiped from my memory up until this point.
Who's gonna rock the house next?
The karaoke setup is looking for more singers, and what's this? Two people are randomly cherry-picked from the crowd even though they don't want to do it that much. The overdubbed voice audio in this interaction is so loud and overblown, I find it so funny.
Someday you guys might thank me for this.
They talk after the performance and end up celebrating the new year together. Oh, look at that. The romantic tension that they build and immediately shatter here is absurd, if I might say. I feel like I'm watching the pilot of How I Met Your Mother right now. The world is just calling Troy Bolton's name, firing on all cylinders. You have the go-ahead. Kiss the girl, please, for Christ's sake. No, the scene just kind of fizzles into nothing after they get each other's contacts in the most 2006 way possible, and Troy just kind of stares at that small-ass photo he has of Gabriella until... This is not the first day of the school year, this is the first day back from winter break, and already, Shaggy Zac Efron, he's back on his basketball and bullshit. Wouldn't it just so happen to be the perfect coincidence that all the remotely important characters in this film all happen to take the same theater class all at the same time?
All I remember is, like, pink jelly.
Oh yeah, and they're all in a classroom with, this woman, Miss Darbus, as the theater teacher. She's the head of the whole theater department, and oh my god, she might be my least favorite character in the entire High School Musical franchise.
Shall the carnage continue?
She has no arc. The entire time, she just causes problems for everyone and turns the entire film into chaos. Pure chaos! In my public school experience, I only really had an uptight teacher like this one time, and she taught American history to us. She had a big forehead. I remember she called us her little chickadees, and it was very demeaning because if there's any animal group representative of a bunch of 15-year-olds in a classroom, cattle, sheep, so many directions you could have taken that, and chickadees is such a lame choice. You, Mrs. What's-Your-Face? Anyways, Madame Darkpiss does the cliche thing that all authority figures in high school movies do where they give detention to their students for doing nothing. That's always fun.
Jason!
So, how are your holidays, Miss Darvis?
What? Dude, what the fuck, Jason? Nobody likes you, man. What's next? You're just gonna remind her about the homework assignment that we had to do over winter break, Jason? Huh, you just wanna watch the world burn, Jason? Huh, Jason? We do not emotionally associate with our teachers, Jason, because this is the exposition of the movie. I need to comment for a moment about how dumb the timeline of this movie is. Screenwriter, whatever your name is, Peter Barsocchini? Shame on you! The championship game for this high school's basketball team is 2 weeks after they get back from not practicing at all over winter break. If that is the case, that the championship is in the middle of the school year, then that's fine. If anything, it makes more sense for Troy to be able to participate in the actual musical in the first place, since all they do in the first movie is audition twice. At this rate, the final production of Twinkletown will be premiering when? May? June? Does this school just keep going all year, eternally preparing for a musical that doesn't exist, and the entire High School Musical franchise is just a figment of Miss Darbus's imagination? Maybe. Keep going and we eventually meet the theater tryhards of the film, Sharpay and Ryan. I was only in one play when I was in high school. I was never in any musicals, but from the people I observed in that environment, Sharpay and Ryan really ain't that far off from how some of those guys actually act in real life. Don't Sharpay and Ryan seem like the type of people to fall for some Instagram pyramid scheme, just like berating everyone's feed with fit tea advertisements that make you shit your pants just watching them? Sharpay and Ryan would have thrived in like 2013 era YouTube, where half the entire platform is just vloggers doing challenges and tags. Remember tags, dude? I definitely watched more of those than I should have when I was a kid, I have to admit that. Sharpay's main character trait is that she is highly skilled at theater, and she is very confident that she is going to be getting the lead role in this year's musical. So much so that she writes her name so big on the sign-up sheet, there is no room for any supporting leads, side characters, or crew members to sign up. Is this how East Eye's theater program always runs? It's been Ryan and Sharpay's two-person show for 17 consecutive productions. Basketball time, the boys are at practice, and it is boys talk only here. We get a much closer look at Troy's relation to Chad, who at this point in the film is just Troy's fake basketball player persona, but with the stereotypes turned up to 1,000. He carries around a basketball with him in every class and after-school activity. Might as well put him in Ned's Declassified at this point. And of course, when it comes to music, sadly, this opinion hasn't changed much among basketball players in the real world, but according to Chad, hip-hop and rock is cool and nothing else is important.
It's like show music. It's all costumes and makeup. Oh, dude, it's frightening.
Also, at the simple mentioning of Sharpay's name, Macho Man Chad has no hesitation jumping to Animal Kingdom analogies.
Sharpay is kind of cute, too. So is a mountain lion. You don't pet it.
So at this point in the film, I'm a little sus about how Chad treats women and theater kids, but clearly if Troy wants a successful future in basketball, music should be an afterthought according to his teammates. Banger number 2, and my longtime favorite song from this movie, Get Your Head in the Game. Now take the relationship between Troy and Chad, where one person really wants to try something new and the other person doesn't at all. Take that relationship and imagine it as a bullet point in this movie's storyboard. Just pull a little Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste combo real quick, and make the characters girls, and now you have the relationship dynamic of Gabriella and this girl, who represents science. Her name is Taylor, and no, I did not have to Google what her name was. I already had the IMDb for this movie pulled up when I was writing this video. Gabriella pulls off one of the ballsiest smart girl moves of all, correcting the teacher on a problem, and this makes Sharpay mad. For some reason. I don't know why she started caring about science all of a sudden. She and Ryan manipulate what they know about Gabriella to make her join the science team and distract her from the musical auditions. Seems like Sharpay isn't very confident about her own skills, needing to protect that lead role so badly. Again, the timeline for this movie is absolutely fucked. The auditions have not even started yet, but they're already almost finished with the set and props before they start rehearsing. Basketball practice also starts, but since Troy and Chad were bad boys in the classroom, Jack Bolton becomes a very angry man. Apparently the theater program and basketball program have been butting heads at East High for many years, and though High School Musical isn't most people's main source of political commentary, Miss Darbus's little monologue about how schools give too much funding toward athletic programs in comparison to the arts definitely rings true from my perspective. All my high school ever did when I was there was give their entire budget to the football team, which was able to win 2 games for every 20-game season. The principal comes in to mediate the situation, and it seems like he's a pretty good guy. He wants all the school's workers to be on the same page and everybody to be looking out for the students together. It's not that sports are pointless or theater's pointless. The true lesson here is that sports and theater are equally pointless. And we can live with that as a student body, can't we?
So, Coach,
How's the team looking?
Wait, what?
Troy got him whipped into shape?
Oh, so the principal is an avid basketball fan in this film, and he's clearly on the coach's side. Well, f me then, I guess I was wrong.
Flinging balls.
Gabriella and Taylor talk more, and exactly like how Chad did earlier, just the thought of interacting with Troy Bolton immediately triggers Taylor's gag reflex. Cut to the Bolton household, where even more basketball is being played, and we learn all about the vast, deep emotional connection Troy actually has with his own father.
Hey, Dad. Did you ever think about trying something new, but we're afraid of what your friends might think?
I mean, like going left? You're doing fine. Come on.
As a former basketball player and someone who is left-handed, I did unironically find that joke funny. Back in class again, and Sharpay gives Miss Darbus this weird red canister. Why did they make all these transitions so random? The auditions for the musical are today, and Troy wants to audition without his buddies knowing, meaning he has to lie to Chad, but luckily, he has his own background music, so it won't break him off his stride.
There's no way.
I did not remember how much blank ambient noise they put in this movie to fill time while Troy is sneaking around the school. He has to hide from his dad too, but for a basketball coach, I think Mr. Bolton might be starting to become blind, not noticing his own child clearly hide behind a wall in front of him. But after a second look,
Oh, hey, Dad, what brings you here?
there's a brief part of the auditions that show the people quote-unquote not cut out for theater, which, like, if you ask any theater teacher or director, most of them will say, like, yeah, come on, help us out, you know, anybody's at least welcome to participate. But no, in this movie, you either got it or you don't in showbiz. I could continue rambling all day about how awful Miss Darbus is, but Gabriella finally finds Troy behind his mop, and they watch Sharpay and Ryan's version of the song. My favorite character in this first movie is none of the main characters, okay? My favorite character is Kelsey Nielsen. This girl, the pianist. She is the most unproblematic character in this entire franchise, and Sharpay and Ryan just fucking spit on her during the entire duration of their audition, not even letting her play with them.
Don't be discouraged. The theater club needs more than just singers. It needs fans, too. Buy tickets.
Ryan, you asshole! Auditions end, but since the clumsy pianist falls and subsequently throws all of her papers into the air, Troy kinda lifts her spirits and tells her that she's the playmaker of the whole musical, which I like because it shows that, hey, shy kid and cool kid can relate despite having different interests. That's pretty nifty. She plays the song with them one more time, and even though Miss Darbus supposedly left several minutes ago, she heard their entire performance and deems it worthy of the theater program's first ever Callbacks are a staple to any remotely important school musical audition. Any audition, for that matter. The fact that Ryan and Sharpay never had to participate in a callback ever in their 17 productions proves to me that East High School probably has a student body of like 8 people. Maybe all those extras were just supporting West High School.
Maybe we're being punked. Maybe we're being filmed right now. Maybe we'll get to meet Ashton.
Oh, shut up, Ryan.
Wow, I do not remember High School Musical referencing f***ing MTV's Punk'd for the life of me. But boy does it make me happy hearing that clip 15 years into the future. Good for you, Ashton Kutcher. Banger alert, once again, Stick to the Status Quo shows how since Troy Bolton can be brave and try out for the musical, other students can try new things as well. Like this smart girl who's popping and locking left and right, and this stoner kid who plays the cello, and Zeke, creme brulee kid! Easily my second favorite character, 100%. We deserved a cooking show spin-off starring Zeke where he revealed his secret recipes with us 8-year-olds who wondered what made them so goddamn good. I like how since the song is supposed to show how out of the ordinary the school's behavior is, the song itself keeps rising in intensity over time and carries that overall sense of anxiety in the school cafeteria onto the soundtrack. How does Troy's dad feel about the audition? He's been at school all day. The other students have probably asked him about Troy. What's he been up to?
Troy doesn't even sing.
Of course. Thanks, Dad. Obviously, Taylor, the science girl, needs to snap Gabriella out of it and get her back to thinking about science.
I told you, it just happened. But I liked it. What?
Made me feel some things. Down there. Meanwhile, Troy's just nuzzled up next to her behind that cleaning equipment like, oh man. I'm not too sure about this one, boys. This movie is clearly filled to the brim with side stories that go absolutely nowhere, but once again, my man Zeke builds himself up some confidence to talk to a pretty girl, and Sharpay fucking buries him, annihilates him with her rejection.
Evaporate, tall person.
Zeke doesn't deserve this. If people want to talk about this movie online so much, hashtag give Zeke some love, dude. My guy's in the trenches right now. The actual rehearsing of their callback song probably wasn't thought about that much from a writing perspective, so they instead turn it into a 90-second montage. Good choice, guys. Really kind of stitches it all together. Gabriella and Troy both get detention again, and that leads to Troy missing practice for the first time in 3 years. But that raises the question, how old is Troy, and how long has he been playing for this team? Regardless, his dad gets mad at him, and for a split-second moment, he finally has the realization that maybe my son isn't the person I thought he was? What a concept. And they just skipped over the fact that his entire team eavesdropped on that personal father-son moment. That's a little concerning. Okay, I finally realized why Chad is so much of a dick in this first movie. He eventually explains to Troy that his mom has seen Phantom of the Opera 27 times. So secretly, he's also into theater. He just doesn't fully come into his own and have sex with Ryan until the second movie. So it's okay. He's just a late bloomer.
I don't attempt to understand the female mind, Troy. It's friendly territory.
Still a bit sexist, but now basically everybody in the school all of a sudden turns on Troy and Gabriella in plans of sabotaging their audition.
We need to save our show from people who don't know the difference between a Tony Award and Tony Hawk.
And the Tony Award goes to Miss Darbus. Turns out MS period is actually her legal first name. Who would have known? Why did this kid skateboard directly into grass? Chad and Taylor have devised a plan that forces Troy to say something about Gabriella that he does not mean, and Gabriella and the rest of the school seem to not care about a fully functioning peephole in the men's locker room? What? You can just put this webcam anywhere and it allows you to live stream people in private areas? Hey, yeah, that's not legal. You cannot be doing that. What the f, Disney? Despite the manipulation on both sides, Troy does not notice the giant camera and computer being pointed at him, and Gabriella undeservingly gets her heart broken. So what are the consequences of such manipulation? Well, obviously, Troy is heartbroken because he... Wait, why are they celebrating? They haven't won the championship yet. Why are they holding him up? We could check back on him later. How does Gabriella feel now that everybody she knows at this school just dropped a fat shit on her?
Could happen, 'cause now I have...
Ooh, now I'm sad and tired because this song made me want to go to sleep. In the meantime, Gabriella decides not to do the callback, and Troy is so torn, the man has simply become useless on the court. He missed one shot, and then he missed another shot. He's doomed! So to recap, what these two contributed most to in this movie is making both of the main characters feel like absolute shit, and then they fix it.
Yeah, if singing is something you want to do, we should be boosting you up, not tearing you down.
Yeah. I mean, win or lose, we're teammates.
Hypocrite alert! But hey, I'm glad they at least tried to turn their intentions around. Troy comes to Gabriella's house clad in head-to-toe jeans and does some slight breaking and entering in order to convince Gabriella that he actually does care. And once again, when they are supposed to kiss and make up, they don't. Basketball! Science! They like each other, so things are good again. Praise be! Look at Troy. He has so much confidence, he even finger guns at himself in the mirror. You go, Troy. But wait, Sharpay still wants her lead role, and this is where I start to get into slight conspiracy theory zone about the amount of power the Evans siblings have in the school's theater program. They formed the plan of making callbacks happen on the same exact day and time as the basketball championship and Scholastic Decathlon. Wow, that is an impressively bad set of circumstances. But hear me out, High School Musical fans. I think Miss Darbus is related to Sharpay and Ryan. Yes, you heard it here first. Or maybe not first, and everybody already knew about this, and I just found out about it. Anyways, I don't have legitimate proof. If I did have the birth records of these fictional characters, I would certainly show them to you. But watch what happens when they ask Miss Darby about changing the date of the audition.
That changing the callbacks would be what's best for our theater program, then I might actually agree with you.
Woo! Woo! That silence! That awkward silence. They have a lot of silent moments in this movie that they fill with music and voices in the background, but they chose to make that silence pure and as awkward as possible, and to seal the deal afterwards.
Is that a yes?
It makes so much sense now. 17 shows? How would Sharpay participate in 17 different shows without someone to introduce her to the program in the first place? They generally have a similar hair color. At this time, I firmly believe that this Darbus lady is somehow like an aunt or related to the Evans sisters. She would not have moved the date of the auditions without some type of shady activity happening in the background. Maybe it had to do with that red canister. Is Miss Darbus taking bribes from her students? What kind of demented logic is that? Even if theorizing like this is pointless, I'm so glad that they put these little details in here, because guess who was the lead role in all of my high school's plays and musicals? The daughter of that same school's theater teacher. Bitch, that shit happens at every single school, and it annoys me beyond belief, even though I graduated 2 years ago and I should probably just move on. So once again, the best character, Kelsey the piano player, overhears the shady interaction and spills the beans, leading the scientists and the athletes to devise a final plan, allowing Troy and Gabriella to make their audition on time. And it's a doozy, so strap in. There are so many events happening at this school on one day, even the subtitle maker is stressed out about how this plan will work. At this point, the all in this together mantra of the film is finally taking full form, and Zeke bakes a pie cake, since Gabriella likes the number pi. I appreciate the effort, Zeke, but I feel like a pie would have been a better play on words there. Called a pi squared. And you could make the pi squared, maybe. At the same time, the Brainiacs made a cool poster for the basketball team, and the team did this.
G-O-D-R-A-M-A-C-L-U-B! Exclamation point.
The big game is happening, and these cheerleaders are popping and locking just flawlessly. Troy's dad does that obligatory parent thing where he says, I don't care if you win or lose, but you know it's kind of a lie because he won it himself. And we never see the dad's full turnaround happen in this movie. We just see one shot where he's just like, oh, my son can sing, and I don't have to live vicariously through him anymore. Why is Kelsey dressed up for the callback? I thought this was just an audition, right? Anyways, all three major events are now in progress, and it is time for the plan to go to work. And since this is still 2006, they were just able to use the plot device of computer magic making anything possible in the universe before it started seeming outdated. Woo! Bop to the top! Alright! And the decathlon has been won, apparently. Wow, you are really a brainiac, Gabriella. You solved that problem in like a minute and a half. So they send out this random computer hack in front of all the parents and judges, mind you, and that makes the electricity in the gym go haywire. They make some sort of smelly gas, and all the NPCs in the movie wake up at the same time and say, hey, we gotta get out of here.
We need to all make an orderly exit from the gym, please.
So the entire school evacuates the building to walk over to the auditorium instead. After Bop to the Top is done, Miss Darbitch waits approximately 3 seconds for the other people auditioning to show up, and just like that, auditions are over. Until wait, more people show up and actually want to see them perform?
Oh, we'll sing without a piano.
Oh, no, you won't. Pianist here, Miss Jarvis. You really don't want to do that. Oh, yes, I really do.
Yes, girl, stand up for yourself. That's what I'm talking about. The underdog coming in for the win. This moment hits harder than anything Troy's dad said throughout the entire film. They do their audition, and the crowd doesn't really seem that into it, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. Ryan is just chilling in the background right there. Very unimpressed. Troy drops the kiss on the cheek, and that is the only kiss we see from them in the first film. But even if they did kiss, it probably would have been a little weird if they pulled off this awesome performance and just started macking right on the stage. So it turns out the school gym is actually just right behind the stage of the auditorium. Glad that transition worked out so well. At this point, we have hit the 90-minute mark, which is kids' movie language for, hey, let's wrap it up, production team! Quitting time, guys. We finished everything we needed to do. They ran out of time, so the championship game doesn't carry very much suspense with it. It's basically just a jump cut straight to the final 10 seconds of the game. It would have been nice for Troy and Chad, or Troy and Mr. Bolton's relationship to have been more tied together together in this final basketball scene, but at the end of the day, the true ending of the film's story happens during the soaring flying performance. Zeke is still trying to shoot his shot with Sharpay, that was a mouthful, and it's starting to seem like he's a little desperate about having someone try his creme brulee. Just someone try it, I'm sure it's good. And we're out in this together, woo. As a child, this is obviously the coolest song because it has a dance associated with it, and you can learn that dance at home, do it yourself. Looking at it now though, it really is just kind of the final message from the movie where every character comes in one by one and says, hey, I'm Troy and I'm here to say that we're all in this together in a major way, and then they just play the chorus again. And just like that, the movie is over. Zeke? Zeke? Zeke!
The best things I've ever tasted.
I love you! Bake me a creme brulee, please! Baby, you could bake me a creme brulee any day. Even though this film is not good by any proper film standard, it's clear that the cast and crew obviously had a fun time making this movie, and unlike other antagonists in Disney movies that encapsulate the idea of being stuck up and arrogant from start to finish, Sharpay and Ryan come around at the end of the movie, and they still respect Troy and Gabriella despite not getting the lead role. But fuck Miss Darbus, she can go die in a hole, she caused problems for everyone in this movie, and she is related to Sharpay and Ryan. I just know it, I feel it in my loins, in my deep, deep knowledge of linear television. That is the video. You can subscribe to this channel for more commentaries on movies, TV shows, or anything I really feel like talking about on a particular week. I'm not sure what to watch next, so if you have things that you plan on watching that you want me to watch as well, just drop a comment, request it. I might actually take you up on that offer. All right, I'm gonna go to Albuquerque, New Mexico in search of a professional basketball career. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. I'll see you later.